Abby here. I'm sitting down with David Lush. I just watched a practice of his. This is Tuesday afternoon, and we're at Brisbane Grammar School. So why don't you kind of go ahead and give everyone a little bit of background on yourself?
Yeah, well, thanks for coming in, first of all. So I've been coaching at Brisbane Grammar School now about 8 years. The program has come in leaps and bounds. Again, when I walked in here, it was empty. Put on 10 sessions a week, had to cancel 8, and had to, I guess, employ a number of strategies to, I guess, get bums on seats, I think the term would be. But yeah, I guess now that I'm in that high performance space and the program is sustainable from I guess, an economic standpoint, again, I would say that my focus has really shifted to, as opposed to creating engagement, to creating a result, because that the demographic that I'm dealing with now obviously wants a result at the highest level. So that requires a really good team. So I think that's probably our main point of difference, is that we've got a really, really good structure. We've got great facilities, but you need great people.
Yeah.
And great people who, I guess, can provide the athlete with a very holistic and robust support mechanism in a number of facets that include physiology, biomech, skill acquisition, strength and conditioning, nutrition. We're basically offering every service that the Institute of Sport could.
Yeah. And how does that actually work within, because this is a high school, right?
Yeah.
How do you actually get those experts into the facilities? Does the school fund that, or how does that work?
Good question. So a number of different ways. It's not always the same. So sometimes it's a quid pro quo. So for instance, say a service provider like a physiotherapist or a massage therapist, we would say, can you come in and service our elite athletes twice a week? The benefit of that would be that we've got a school of 1,500 people, very, I guess, wealthy demographic, and we will push that, I guess, push people towards you at by referral. So you know, you're going to all of a sudden get a lot of people come to you, but you're going to help us. So yeah, that's one way. Second way, things that are much more specialised will come from Queensland Academy of Sport or the Australian Sports Commission. So based on the level of athlete, you're entitled to a certain amount of funding, a certain amount of support. So that's pretty highly specific stuff that we couldn't really generate ourselves. And the others that will end up as a team will find a budget for it.
And if you're looking at that from more of a specialist standpoint, how often are these guys working within your program? I mean, we kind of went through the season or even weekly plan that you have or you set up. Is it on a weekly basis that you're supposed to see physiotherapists and biomechanists?
Yeah, so our physiologist will come in 3 times a week. Our biomechanist will come in twice a week. We'll have a service team meeting with everybody, say 3 times of preparation over a 16-week block. Our psychologist will touch base with everybody weekly, nutritionists similarly.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how does the information that you get from those specialists kind of affect you from a coaching periodization perspective?
Yeah. I would say that I've probably got a pretty strong handle on a lot of those niches, but at the end of the day, I'm not an expert. I haven't mastered that skill set. So by bringing people in, that creates a really genuine and strong value proposition for any athlete to come into the program.
Yeah.
I want to see myself as a captain of a ship with lots of tools in my toolbox, and I'm running the core agenda, but I'm also empowering those people, those sports scientists, to contribute, to have accountability, responsibility, make a genuine impact, and then you're going to find you have much more genuine buy-in from them. So our strength and conditioning coach is on pool deck twice a week. You know, so I think that it's really important, especially in that discipline, to actually understand the mechanics of the movement that we require. Because that's going to be very different to their fundamental training.
Yeah, no, for sure. And your background is in exercise physiology? Okay, so I think within the US specifically, there are some coaches that understand kind of more of the science behind training, but there's a lot of coaches that were wanting to learn more about that and really dive deeper into the data that you can create from swimming, even from a dryland perspective or in the water. So how do you feel like the science that you know really kind of helps you build up the program that you have built?
Yeah. Well, it drives everything. So instead of relying on intuition to make a decision, we've got analytics every day that are being interpreted in a meaningful way. And that's meaningful to us, not via an app or via where we're generating our own analytics, assessing it in our own way to make informed decisions.
Yeah.
So whether that's 3 times a week, we do 3 100s freestyle on 2 minutes, descend 1 to 3. And through that descending, effort, an athlete might go, again, make something up, they might go 140 heart rate on the first one for a particular time, 160 heart rate for the second one at a particular time, 180 heart rate for the third one at a particular time.
Yeah.
Those 3 100s, what we're trying to assess is what is their swim speed or the resultant time at 170 heart rate. Now, because we've collected over 1,000 pieces of data for that particular point in time, we can, any interference to that, whether it's by a byproduct of adaptation, sickness, we can make a really informed decision. So for last night, at a young female who was presenting with a heart rate that was, say, 10% above normal for a particular time.
Yeah.
Jump out, buddy.
Yeah.
I feel fine. Well, this afternoon she's had to miss. Tomorrow morning we'll probably miss because some of those symptoms that weren't presented then, only in heart rate, are now actually there. So we've probably potentially, because we've made a decision earlier, the recovery time might be shorter. Out of pool time might be shorter.
Yeah, so more informed decision that will hopefully benefit the overarching retention.
Absolutely. And again, I'll turn up to training every day with a preset warm-up that I want to do. Yeah. And then 3 sessions.
Okay.
So session 1 is if all the indicators are that we're ready to go, then we hit it. If I'm still not too sure, it'll be probably one of the 2. But if I see that the group is presenting with, symptoms that look like they're going through adaptation, they need a little bit more rest and under fatigue, then we'll go with option 3. Okay. So every time I'm walking in, you can create a plan, but a good coach needs to be adaptable.
Yeah. If there's anything from the last few years that you've changed or you're really kind of like honing in on, what is that? Do you know off the top of your head?
Anything we've changed?
Could be from training or strength conditioning or nutrition.
Probably the biggest thing to change is swimming in this country is quite topical. Yeah. And the Australian community is quite engaged, both from a media perspective as well as results. Yeah. And often that perspective drives, whether it's a news agenda, even sometimes funding. So what I've probably had to be upskilled quickly with is that when you have a very high level athlete walk into your program, understand the volume of stakeholders that come with it and how to be adaptable when it's dealing with managers, media, both internal and external from Swimming Australia, the idiosyncrasies of that athlete who might do yoga. I've got an athlete that does pole dancing. Yeah. How do you juggle all of the stakeholders that are involved with their life? That's really difficult, especially when I work for a high school whereby none of my KPIs are high performance. Yeah. I don't get paid to do anything high performance. That's almost driven by passion, but how to maintain results over there in the high performance realm, but at the same time stick to core business, which you're being paid to do.
Being paid to do. Yeah. Yeah, because your high performance squad is how many kids now?
12.
And you've had how many on different teams?
Probably half.
Half of them? Okay. So I mean, from a percentage perspective, that's pretty high. Yeah. If you were to give yourself advice to year 1 of your coaching self, what would it be?
Yeah. Probably don't know well enough to share this, but I would probably say look after yourself. You know, I used to think of it as, only up until recently, where work ethic is a badge of honour. Yeah. And take pride in knowing that I've got 200 days of leave owing, and that I haven't had a break in a long period of time, and that I'm actually probably now just starting to see the net effect of not looking after yourself and investing so much into athlete program, not self. Yeah. So if I could give myself any advice, it would be make sure you're taking time for yourself, because doing more is not always more. Yeah.
It's really interesting because I sat down with my goal yesterday, and to that question, which I asked him the same question, he was going to tell himself to be more patient, because he said he pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, and with that didn't take time off, didn't take time off, didn't take time off, which means that, you know, personally you're getting someone to the best shape of their life, the peak performance of their life, you know, and at the end of the day, like, you know, your lifestyle is still very, very important. But I think it's really hard to balance being a coach and also living a healthy lifestyle, because you're up at 4 o'clock in the morning, you're gone on weekends, you could be gone multiple weekends in a row, that it's difficult. So what would you say that you're doing differently now to make sure that you are just taking more time away, or you kind of structuring your days differently?
Yeah, probably being as well planned for my own life as I am for the athlete's life. So actually writing in time for a break, actually learning to say no. And with that time that I decide to take time away, don't actually turn it into reconnaissance to make this place better. So generally a trip away would end up turning into a work trip where I'm camps, clinics, etc. So taking a time away with intent.
And actually shutting down is really important. Cool. Well, thank you very much.
No problem, mate. Lovely meeting.